experience, he did not have ownership of his children. And he could see why the children were killed. So there was no reason for him to intercept.
Well, in that case, I would ask one more question. Every atom, every atom, the minutest drop, nothing moves in this universe without the will of God. I think we all accept that. Without the will of God. Every atom, microatom, whatever word you might say, nothing moves without the will of God. And if that is so, then the thoughts that is created in our mind, every neuron also moves because of his will on. And these are the neurons which are making us think in different way and make us work the way we work. So considering that, how much independence do we have to control those things, or are we all being governed by the overall power of God? Nothing is in our hand.
See, the understanding what we get is based on what we come across. So, if we come across a fully enlightened soul of Brahmarshi, then he gives us the right understanding. And with that right understanding, we get that right mindset with which we don't react. We act appropriately. Does that make some sense?
Well, coming back to the same one, that it is the will of the God that makes us do things. So
yeah, but it is not the will of the God not to make me understand.
Well, anything that make me understand is also the activity of a neuron that went through that activity to make me understand. So how did the neutron move to that place?
So it is like sometimes, somewhere I had the desire to have the right understanding. That's how I come across the right person. I get the right understanding. I acknowledge that, I accept that, and that's how it changes my life.
That is true.
No, I think Professor Madhuji is going to answer. Add answer to the question.
The three karmas: sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, and kriyaman karma. प्रारब्ध कर्म प्रारब्ध, इसका मतलब है what you started before. जैसे प्रशिक्षा है, प्रशिक्षा जैसे पहले से जो शिक्षा मिली है. So प्रारब्ध में से in the प्रारब्ध, I better speak in English. In the prarabdha, whatever we already made is prarabdha. And kriyaman karma is the one, you eat now, you get the result. Prarabdha, kriyaman and sanchit, the one collected by you, because of which you are married to Nitai. That's collected by you. So all these three karmas are different. And three karmas will give you the fruit according to their own timing. Rama,
that I accept, but the previous birth also was under the power of God.
Speak loud.
The previous birth in which I did something for which I am responsible now was also under the same universe of God. So if I did anything in my previous birth for which I am responsible now, I am not responsible because in each, that previous birth also was just the same rule of universe of God that made me do that. Do you understand that?
So
that means nothing is really in my hand. We are all being,
Then for which, why he
being
is responsible?
processed
That's what he's
by
why he
power,
is responsible for
which
that.
is making us do things the way we do.
you did the karma, it is your responsibility.
No, that is exactly the point. You don't see the work that you do is because a certain amount of thought is acting in your head, in making you move up or do or say something. Something is happening in your brain.
Ask a short question.
You were giving a speech.
No, I'm just, it's the same question I'm asking. What I'm saying is that nothing actually is under our control, because there is an overall bigger power which is making us do the things that we do. Because all your activities are generated by some kind of a thought in your brain, right?
Tell me what
And in your brain, those things are coming by some activity of neurons which are moving in certain directions, certain connections. They are raising that kind of an activity.
Well, this will go a long whole chapter, but I'll try to answer it shortly. If the God is making everybody do everything, why we should penalize the criminals? Because they also say God made me do anything, to kill anybody, to do the things. It is a hypothesis, and really the God has no business of making anybody do anything. God is just the light, knowing light, seeing light, and infinite bliss, which is there in everybody. It is the egoism which does good or bad things and reaps the fruits. And what is in my hands and what is not, that's a very clear answer. The life has two parts. One is the part of happenings, mind, body, speech, and inner and outer circumstances. And my present mind, body, speech is working on what I have carried as my beliefs and charge, which is discharging. And what is in my hand is, based on my present understanding, I can have new charging, new causes, or new projections. If the God would have been doing anything, the liberation contradicts it. Nobody can be liberated, because then the God is the boss. Liberation means no boss, no underhand. Nobody can be free if the God is making it. And the next question is, why the God should make such a chaotic world? I should ask God, why you have made all the chaos all around? So that's a hypothesis. God is the real self. It is the pure knowledge light, pure infinite bliss, and pure perception. And anybody has a right to attain that state of being if one attains the correct understanding. That's my take on to that. I think we end it over here.
I think we should end the conversation.
No, I would like to add one more point, sir. Please.
You have to take
No, please.
your
Just one.
Sure.
No, just I would like to, sir, I would like to add one more small point. The Karma Siddhanta itself is very complex, complicated, and controversial. Okay, you are following 100% Karma Siddhanta, where you say that everything is in the hands of God. Then, what is our role? That is 100% Karma Siddhanta. Adulterated Karma Siddhanta says, no, some parts of karma is in your hands. That is why in Bhagavad Gita it says, Karmanye vadikaraste. Do your duty, means it is in your hands. He doesn't say that it is my duty, it is your duty. Result I will give. So don't expect result, that's what. So Karma Siddhanta is very, very complex. And as Dr. Mehta told that, you can go on debating, we will never come to an end. And that's what my take on that. If I am,
And to end it very humorously, when something is done by us, we say, I did it.
Yeah.
Then we never say God did it.
Yeah.
And when something goes wrong, we blame God. At least we should stop this double language before we come to the conclusion of the hypothesis.
No, good or bad, everything is done by God.
But then I say that I did it.
No, I don't say
Then why should there be ego? I did it.
well, that's true, but I'm saying that everything is done by God. Whether you are a sadhu or a sant or a chor, that is also the desire of God. That's the way He made it.
But why the God should have been doing all this business? That's my basic
So
question.
that is His play. You don't ask God what He is doing. You don't become the boss of God.
Anyway,
We have
let's end it here. And any feedbacks or anything otherwise, I think we are up to the time.
This evening, don't eat. To get up.
If somebody has a feedback on today's,
See what happens to you.
I
Now
know,
is the time for feedback.
feedback, I know you people have stayed here up to 4:45. That's it. Thank you very much for that. And any feedback of the session? Did you learn anything? Is something new? You want to say something?
After the whole morning to this until now, this session very inspirational, and I personally learned a lot, from different speakers, and it's going to take some time to digest and then try to apply in day-to-day life. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you very much for the feedback. How about the students? Or how do you feel?
Yeah, the same thing. It was inspirational.
Please talk in the mic so everybody can.
Yeah, I want to know the same thing. It was inspiration.
Yeah, thank you. You?
It was nice. I came to know about the inner self, the concept of inner self for the first time. It was a new experience for me. I look forward to how to apply it.
Perfect, thank you. How about the new doctor? You've been feeling cold. Let's warm up before we go.
Was it a neurotoxin?
First of all, I would like to thank everyone. It's been a wonderful session, though I missed the first half. Last year I attended the whole session from morning and I enjoyed it thoroughly then as well, and I did it today. All the speakers were really good. And definitely, I believe in all that has been said, and I have been trying to practice it and implement it in my daily life. Some of it is really difficult, especially when you are put on the spot and the real situation arises. It's very, very difficult to apply it, but then I've been trying to take a step back and respond rather than react. And it's very easy to react rather than respond. But it takes time, but once you have, if you sow the seed, I remember from last year's session, I think if you sow a mango seed, you are going to get a mango and not some other fruit. So if you sow the right seeds, and when the time is right, you are going to reap the rewards. And I think everyone should have an exposure at least to this, so that they can reflect on themselves and introspect. And I think that's the beginning, and it's definitely a journey. So I would like to thank you, all of you again, and thank you.
Thank you for your feedback. Anybody else? I'd like to thank the panel speakers. Okay, hold on.
One small voice from my heart. Sometimes, somewhere we get introduced to some beautiful things. For it to function fully, we should remain in touch. So that's our Purusharth. Try to keep in touch if you really have felt it whatsoever.
I put the same thing in a very different way. We have the virus protection program, and it always say that your program is updated. Last update was 31st May 2014. So if you want protection further, you better keep it online.
Updated.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, before I forget, please, the questionnaire, please leave it on the table or give it to one of us. And I'd like to thank the panel for making this a wonderful learning experience. And I'd like to thank Satya for doing a good job of conducting this program. And I'd like to also thank all the volunteers who helped out for this doing a good job. Thank you very much.